Today was a pretty exhausting day for me, and I haven't really told John everything that happened.
I only know a little bit.
But I've had some really busy days at work, really long days. I've been working late, kind of my own fault because I, put some stuff off. I don't prioritize well. But anyway, and so Miss A has had a little bit of a sore throat for a few days. Everything with COVID, we just need to be precautious.
Yeah, we've been overly cautious.
At the center that the visitations are held, which this week were the in-person visits, and then on the off week they do virtual visits. And the location, they have some pretty, strict policies right now about COVID. So every time you go in, they ask, the child, if they've experienced any symptoms, any kind of sick symptoms.
You take temperature.
They take the temperature,
Yeah.
You have to wear a mask. And then they also ask if anybody in the household has experienced any symptoms up to the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So they take it pretty seriously. And knowing that she had a sore throat, we don't want to put somebody else at risk if for some reason she were to be carrying something right now, because we would want people to do the same, keep our family safe. I've been in communication with Miss A's parents. I let them know that she had a sore throat and that we would be calling the location in the morning to see, just finding out what their protocol was. And so, mom and dad knew that that's kind of where it was going. But when I called, they did say yeah, she can't come to the visit. That's up to 2 weeks unless she gets a negative COVID test, which we know with tests, it could take.
They're not easy to get in the first place.
Yeah. And the results take 48 to up to a week, 48 hours to a week. And while you're waiting for the results, you can't, obviously do any visits.
Yeah.
If you notice a lot. If you notice a lot of cuts in this video, it's because Darcy is still kind of hanging around and having fun. Sawyer's in bed, Miss A is playing her game. So I figure it makes sense if I'm going to tell John what happened today. Might as well kind of fill you guys in
give
too.
my initial reaction.
Give the initial reaction.
Which might not be good.
Yeah. And also like everything, we're not going to be able to say specifics. So some of the stuff I'm going to have to share with him off camera. Kind of the more specifics of what happened. But basically, rightfully so, the family was really disappointed that, she's not going to be able to go to any visits right now. And also, really just concerned about how it impacts the case, which, all because a kid is sick and they can't go to the visits, that doesn't affect, it's not going to delay anything. That's what I've been told by the caseworker. I understand, it's frustrating. And so anyway, got a little bit of pushback, got some, because I'm in communication with mom and dad, got a few messages that were okay, not the best thing. We just have to know that we're doing the right thing. After that, I ended up getting on the phone with one of the parents, and it's one of those things where, the way that we're trying to handle the relationship with, our family and Miss A's family is we're really trying to keep things positive, keep things open, and it's a challenge because there's a lot of things that go on with the dynamics with foster parents and birth parents, and depending on the case, if they're case is not moving forward or not progressing the way that they want, everybody's the bad guy. So it's just challenging. But on that phone call, things got I just kind of had to bite my tongue a little bit. And I think generally in the phone call, because I was the one on the call, I was the bad guy. Mm-hmm. Even though it's not necessarily directed at me or him. Yeah. Because we've, been told by her parents that they're so appreciative of us, that, they know we care, all this stuff. But when it's the moment, I think it's easy as foster parents that we get to kind of take some of that.
Yeah, they kill the messenger. It's really tricky because as a foster parent, you're not required to maintain communication and a relationship with the birth parents. You are required in certain instances to allow the foster child to have communication with them if they want. Mm-hmm. But you're not required to do that. And it gets really hairy, because we try to maintain these relationships and we think it does good, but a lot of times it doesn't. It just makes it worse. So I don't know. I mean, moving forward now with future foster placements, we're going to have to think long and hard about what kind of communication we keep with the birth parents, and what we do, because it's one of those things where like you try to do good and you try to keep them looped in, and then you just end up getting punished for it.
And it depends on the parents. It depends on a lot of things. And I know there are like a lot of foster parents out there who will probably comment and say, well, this is why we don't communicate. But honestly, you just have to have like a thicker skin, and you have to just realize that like it's not about you. They're not mad at you. They're mad because they don't have their kids, and their kids are with you. So it's tricky, and especially with Miss A, like, when she's reunified, like, we want to have that relationship. She wants to have that relationship. And even though it's not required to like be in communication with the birth parents or, be supportive of them, it's actually like encouraged. So if you go back to like the training that you go through when you're getting licensed to be foster parents, it is something that they talk about, that they encourage the support of the whole family, and that's how healing can really take place for some families. So sometimes, you kind of just have to try, and then you pull back, and then you try, and then you pull back. So I feel like with us, this is probably the third time that we have been on good terms, and then something will happen where it kind of, it fractures things.
And that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. So this is why, like, a lot of times John comes home and I've been texting like, oh gosh, I'm exhausted, and he has no idea like what happened, and I'm just like, I need to tell you that this conversation just did not go well, which I'll tell him more details off camera. And then also, what we found out is that one of her visits is not going to happen anymore. And, again, it's not something that we can like really talk about, but it's just like an interesting change, because things will progress really far, and things will be going really, really well, and then sometimes the parents think that they're doing the right thing, and really like it's hurting the case, it's hurting the kids. So I think we're kind of running into that a little bit. So just a little speed bump. I had a long day.
Sorry.
I had a long day, and I just have a headache, and
Why do you have a headache?
Tomorrow I have a pretty full day that I'm excited to share with you guys. You guys are going to see a lot of stuff, and I'm also going to talk about the process of getting recertified, because John and I are up for recertification, and tomorrow's kind of my one day to start getting all the paperwork together so that we don't lose our license, because we don't want that.
That's bad.
Yeah. So thanks for watching. We will see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.